Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining this webinar. We are very happy to welcome you with Sabine. We do have together around 45 minutes to present you during this session some of the information regarding the Global Organization Executive Coaching Program launched by HEC Paris. So at any time during this webinar, you can chat with us in the chat window, so you can ask any questions and we will answer to it by the end of the webinar. And we will start by testing this interface with you, if you are with us, just to be sure that everybody is comfortable with the format. So the first question that we are going to ask you is to tell us where you are coming from. So you can try to use the chat window to be sure that everybody is comfortable with the interface and can interact with us. So we do have a couple of answers starting to appear. Thank you for those who are answering. Okay.
So we have France, and again, France.
Brazil. But live in Algeria. Thank you for calling. Thank you for joining us.
Portugal, Spain.
Okay. So that's great. A couple of people from everywhere in the world. So welcome on board, and we hope you're going to enjoy this webinar. So now that everybody is comfortable with this, we can maybe start with a self-introduction. So Sabine, I'll let you the floor.
So hello, guten Tag. My name is Sabine Henrich-Freise, born in Germany, living in France for the last 25 years. I've created my own coaching company and I'm an executive and organizational coach now since 25 years. So it will be a pleasure to share all that with you during this webinar and the coaching program.
Thank you, Sabine. So myself, I'm Mathilde Guillou, I'm French. I'm working in a company for 13 years, experimenting different kinds of environments as well as functions in sales, in supply chain, in strategy, management, and getting in contact with many cultures, many countries. And Sabine and I think we are very enthusiastic to open this webinar with you today. So the webinar is mainly having three goals. The first one is to know you better. So for those who are joining us, we want to know more about you, why you are interested into this program, and we are extremely happy that you can join us soon. The second one is to share some information with you on the program itself, because I think it's important that you have as many information as you are asking for. And finally, to interact with you and to answer any question that will not be covered during this webinar. So here we have the possibility maybe to ask you some first questions, Sabine.
So in general, first question is, what are your main driver for being interested and undertaking this coaching program? And there is even a more specific question is, for what reason finally you are interested in? And you will have a chat window and you can write down your question, your answer into the question window, so that we can see. So for what reason are you interested in participating in that program?
So we give you a couple of seconds, and so you can express your expectations. That will help us to see where we need to answer specific needs, and if some questions are very specific, that we prepare an answer for you by the end of this webinar. So don't hesitate to post your question and the reason why you are with us today.
Yes. And your reasons, so that we can see.
Okay, so we do have a couple of answers. So some of you are here to expect about some information about the program, and you want to know more about the structure of this important program in HEC. Okay, so this is the purpose of this presentation, which is good news. So maybe before we
there's another one, which is I'm interested in the international scope. That's why I'm interested in this international way of looking to coaching organizations.
Okay, great. So let's see if we answer this. And don't hesitate to come back to us by the end of the webinar if some information is missing. Before we move on, maybe let's start with a couple of definitions, because it's important that we do synchronize our perception of what is organizational coaching, and that to be sure that we do have the same understanding of what we propose. So coaching has been becoming very fashionable and more widespread in responses of new challenges in the business world. An organizational coach has recently emerged from various worldwide trends and a very specific approach and posture in the coaching world. You are coming from different countries, you are coming from different backgrounds, you may have different professional and different professional perspective of what is organizational coaching. And maybe we want to ask you, what is coaching of organization for you?
And there you will have a couple of choices, and you can maybe really answer the question in the list below and select whether it's about team coaching, coaching of companies, systemic coaching, collective coaching of individuals, or strategic coaching. What would be your preferred answer for organizational coaching?
Okay, so we start to have some answers. So it's a mix, different perspective, okay. So it's so we have many answers. So coaching of companies for some of you. It's more a systemic thinkers approach for others. It's team coaching for some of you listening to the webinar today. So we can see that there are really different way of understanding coaching of organizations, and in the webinar you may not have the same perspective of it. What we can do is maybe to bring you to our definition in HEC, because we had some experts working on the topic for years now, and there are a great opportunity, I think, to share our vision.
So I just will summarize what you can read, but coaching of organizations is about enhancing the self-awareness of organizations so that they can reinvent themselves, develop new success strategies, and foster their responsibility and autonomy. This is maybe one of a coaching of organizations definition, which is summarizing what is emerging in different countries about organizational coaching, and which is, I would say, large enough to bring in different perspectives of organizational coaching.
Mm-hmm. And it's a core pillar of HEC philosophy as far as coaching of organization is concerned.
Mm-hmm. And what we think is very important is that idea of enhancing their self-awareness about what works, what does not work, what are hidden factors in coaching, hidden strategies, so that we bring up these possibilities and creating new opportunities for transformation.
So it's a unique way for organizations to reinvent themselves and to find maybe these famous hidden factors you're talking about.
Yes, exactly.
So globally, our vision in HEC is to have organizational coaches. What do we expect from these organizational coaches?
Organizational coaches, I mean, there are two words in it already. I mean, at the beginning is about coaching. Mm-hmm. So knowing about the fundamentals of coaching, what we are calling the coaching posture, what is coaching compared to consulting, coaching compared to facilitation. This is one part of it. The second part of it is also about what is an organization thriving, let's say, in a VUCA world, which means in a world of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And as everything changes as a very rapid way, the question of what really does it mean being in an organization, driving in an organization, intervening in an organization is the second part of coaching of organizations.
Okay, so that's really exactly where we want to bring you into. This is a journey we propose to share with you, because now we're going to move to what some of you are expecting, which is the program structure and how is it built. And we're going to go deeper into the HEC philosophy, coaching of organizations. So in this program overview, we're going to talk about participants, about context of this program, as well as some objectives, and the structure of it. So I repeat that if you have any questions, please use the chat window. All along the presentation, ask anything that you want to know about the program, and Sabine and I will try to catch up on your questions by the end of the webinar. So let's start by the participants' profile, okay? So the participants' profiles so the program is especially built for CEOs and executives, high potential leaders, change management officer, chief transformation officer, as well as international individual and team coaches, as well as consultants. And we do want to open this program to participants looking for really a global approach of organizations coaching. So let's look further into the global context, okay? Because as we were discussing, the global context is important to be taken into account.
Yes, by the way, that was one of the interests we have heard, or we have written, or you have written in the beginning of the seminar. So it's really about being more or less more aware and differently aware about the international interconnected organization. What does it really mean? In which way, when you do something in one country, it will affect another part of the country of the organization. It's the question of multicultural interactions. I mean, in which way this seminar or this webinar is in English, but the words we use have a different meaning in German, a different meaning in China, a different meaning somewhere else in the world. So in which way we take care about this diversity, about these cooperation challenges. There is probably a huge question about what does it mean globalization, what does it mean now democratization in the world, what is the responsibility of a worldwide company for the world. All these new challenges bring up the question of organizational coaching. English, yes, is a standard business language. However, when you look to the way teams work, they also need their mother language to get, in fact, in the possibility to be coached. It's not about just speaking about organizations, but as a coach, we have to enter the world of the others by the language. So that means speaking at least 2 languages is, I mean, really important to get this idea of being, as an organizational coach, based in diversity, himself or herself.
Absolutely. So it's really important to be as diverse as the organization we are accompanied. So the global context is extremely important for us because we want to deliver a global experience of coaching of organizations. And this means more awareness of global context.
More awareness, and that doesn't mean the French approach in the world. That is not global. Okay, so it's not the French philosophy of coaching spread up in the world. It's being inspired from what is coming from the different countries and having really this, I would say, internal flexibility of seeing what is maybe the right answer in France could be completely the opposite answer in America, Australia, and Japan.
And this is extremely important to take this into account as soon as you are working and accompanying in the global organization.
Yes.
Okay. It means as well global that there is probably an opportunity for people wanting to go into global organization coachings because the market is as well a global picture today.
Yes.
And when we envision ourselves in such collaboration with companies, we need to think about a broader picture.
The systemic picture also.
Yeah.
The transformation everywhere. I mean, the transformation in one part of the world is affecting the other part of the world. I mean, the last example has been Facebook. What does it really mean? What happens over there, and in which way it will have impacting the whole Facebook world everywhere in the world?
So as you understood, we have specificities in this program, and those specificities have been brought in by Michel Giffard, who is the director of the coaching school for 15 years now. And as you can see, the program has been thought during many years to be one of the more advanced program on coaching of organization today. This is what we want to offer you in this structured program. And I think it's important that you share with us the 3 main goals which has been set by Michel for this program specifically, and you want maybe to discover what has been those objectives.
Yes. So The first one is really, I would say, to either to confirm, to acquire, or to know what it means, the passion of being a coach. More or less, once you are a real coach, it's really about the passion of coaching, of being an efficient coach. That is one objective we have, to bring you to you and share with you our passion of coaching and being a coach. The second one is really about sharing experiences and practices of coaching, and you coach with a specific look to what does it mean organizationally. And it's also about methods, it's about tools. However, the basic word in coaching organizations is coaching. So we are working really on both parts. And
we are, I think, in HEC, we are very attached to the fact that people undertaking this program are ready with the skill they acquire, they are ready to operate in a group coach, because this is one of the specificities of coaching of organizations. When you interact with an organization, you work in a group of coaches of organizations. And I think we are extremely attached to the fact that people leaving this training program are really invested in these competencies of coaching posture.
Yes.
And we want them to experiment this during the coaching program. So
I would even say this is one of the main specific ways of HEC to train organizational coaches. It's not in-class coaching only. It's one of the really the rare schools in the world where you will be in a team, going to a company, and really explore and do it on the floor during the program. And I would really say this is one of the specific item of the HEC program.
Which brings us in place during the missions that you decide to during the program, because as you understood, you will operate some missions in companies, and the supervision side of the program is extremely important, and this is something we are extremely looking at during the mission.
Yes, so in addition to what Mathilde just says, maybe also important is that when you see these objectives and the trainers who come into the program, they are coming from different countries. So at least I'm born in Germany, I still have my German side, and I still work a lot in Germany. So this is one part of a teacher. There are teachers coming from other parts of the world, from France, from England probably. We have also people from Italy, Switzerland. So that there will be also this interesting part of hearing from trainers and practitioners who are doing coaching in the world. So this makes it very interesting. I think to be added.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's as you understood, it's really a unique recipe, and we have been cooking this for years, and I think this is all the heart we put in it, which is now proposed to you if you want to join us in this program. We do have some questions about the mission, how is it going to be. So that's very interesting, and we can deep dive now, if you wish, into the structure, the more detailed structure of the program.
And we are coming back to the mission question.
Absolutely. So the structure. So first of all, the program is starting on October 9th this year. So it's important for you to know the entry point of this program is in October, and for registration, there is everything that needs to be prepared. So globally, as you can see, the objective of this structure design of the program is based on the equivalent of 3 days of remote coaching, as well as you can see, some coaching missions that are from the beginning something that you would have to undertake with a group of coaches to be sure that you are experimenting the collective approach of coaching of organizations. So let's deep dive maybe, and let's be a little bit more specific for each of those modules, okay? So the first modules, as Sabine said, and this is a fundamental of the program, is to master the approach of coaching and to look after the posture. Okay, so of course we're going to define during this first module what is coaching of organizations, but we're going to have some really basics approach of coaching posture, because it's important for us that this is mastered from day one. So from this first module, the missions are discussed by groups, and this is the first step, I would say, as an organizational coach to be taken from the very beginning of this program. As you can see, there are remote coaching periods in between each module, so you will have the opportunity to experiment new way of coaching. Remote coaching means what it means. It's virtual, it's digital, it's being able to coach remotely, maybe from another place of the world when you have to follow, accompany, guide your customers. And this is where we want to bring you there. So this is everything which is done on the module one. We build the group, okay, and we ensure fundamental aspects of coaching are respected. In module two, we did dive into the world organization coaching practices, and we focus on alliances, expectations, and diagnoses. So this is really a key steps, because some of you may already be in missions. And this very first step of a mission is clearly to ensure this famous alliance as well as diagnoses when we are in. And the module 2 is dedicated to it. Okay?
Yes, is there where you will work on what is your own definition of organization, which is a way, is it bringing self-awareness to the companies, having that kind of definition of organizations? Is it bringing new resources to the company by thinking like that about organizations? All that will be challenged, questioned, and explored together.
Absolutely, and you will definitely experiment this through different kind of workshop and conferences, and we will bring there the best experts on the topic, and you could be able to capitalize on that for your current mission. So as you can see, still some remote coaching out there, because it's a journey, okay? It's a parallel track, because we do believe in HEC that this remote coaching part is extremely important in the new world we are entering in. And we need to be ready for this remote coaching practices that every coach is going to experiment in the coming years. Then we move to module 3. So in module 3, we're going to investigate the organizational unconsciousness, as well as very practical key methods and tools for organizational coaches, and how to build a strategy given an organization. Okay, so this is really strategy oriented, but it's as well a holistic approach, I would say, of the organization as a group of coach. So it's a pivotal module, because it's the middle of the year of the training. So it's really important that you understand that this strategy coaching part is fundamental for us. In module 4, Sabine, you are back with us.
I'm back. You will see me again. You will see in the beginning. You will see now, by the way, in the beginning. I'm back in module 4, looking on what does it really mean, an updated multicultural approach to organizations. I mean, there is a lot of things written on multicultural dimensions. There are cultural tools, but what does it really mean in an accelerated VUCA environment? We will explore together. We will bring it also to the diversity of practices, and in which way it makes sense to be capable to be in a matrix organization with different cultures, with different ways to operate. And personal research may also be interested to be shared. And normally there's always a surprise in each module.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this module in particular, because you're going to experiment something, we are talking about diversity, we are talking about innovation as well. And here the surprise is that you're even going to experiment the ship coaching. So in module 4, this is the last module, in module 5, sorry, this is the last module, and this is the module which is dedicated to design thinking as well as creative selling practices. And here we want to probably reinforce the professionalization of the program on how to buy and how to sell coaching of organization, because I think it's important that during this module everybody feel ready for the last path, which is the certification, because during this program you're going to have the pleasure to go through a jury, and this jury will enjoy this moment with you because it's still a learning moment, and definitely we need to have this end session with you, with everybody, with this professionalization aspects.
Exactly, and in fact it's a sort of ending session,
yeah,
as we do it as coaching when we finalize and finish an organizational coaching approach. There's always that kind of conversations, which is still the ending and the starting of a new beginning.
Absolutely. So this is really thought as a coaching of organization itself, by the way. The design, the pedagogical design is thought this way, and we can probably experiment with all of you some very exciting moments as the program is extremely spectacular. So different techniques, different approach, many experts, innovation, a lot of innovation. I think the participants who enjoyed the most the program are those who are able to go out of their comfort zone and ready to be surprised and to challenge themselves in the new world of coaching and organization. So now that we have been through this, please continue to post your question on the chat, and we will answer because there are many questions coming in. Attending module, certification process, how to find missions, where are the teachers, what are the tools I'm trained on. So there is many approach, many pedagogical approach that needs to be discussed. So we have many things to say again. So let's talk about the site, because it's part of the overall, I would say, environment and atmosphere that HEC want to offer.
At least you will see the picture.
Yeah.
Even more.
You can see this
the picture
on the site, on the website. Slide. Yeah. So
website.
You can visit the website of HEC, and you will see the beautiful castle. In which you will be in during these days, and you will definitely enjoy the site, because it's even thought to be nice and to support the approach. Let's talk about the benefits of this program, because if you are here with us today, we assume that you want to know which benefits you're going to take from this program. Alors, maybe people who take the program with us shared a couple of benefits. So they write down their personal thoughts about why did they choose HEC Paris 4. And there is 3 dimensions they choose it for. It's because of participants, it's because of the pedagogy, but it is also because of the program itself. So if we focus maybe on the first feedback we had about the participants, it's mainly thanks to the program and participant fits, okay? Because there is definitely excellent feedback from people saying that the selection process in place allows some new exchanges and allow innovations in those exchanges, which is made by the HEC selection process. So for this reason, I think the participants are making the group atmosphere ready to leave the coaching of organization experience. Then there is a global-minded approach of HEC, because it's extremely important that we keep this international approach in our program. So the global-minded approach is crucial during the program. So why people choose this program? As well, for the brand, the HEC brand is extremely recognized and well known in the business world. So it's a guarantee of professionalism and as well extremely innovative approach that are on the market today. So when you go into this program, another benefits that participants share with us is about joining the HEC Paris Coaching Network, so which is a very big community of coach, thus multiplying your opportunity to work with the coaching group and to enjoy actually the HEC brand atmosphere within the community and liaising with people which are benefiting for the same program. And finally, people choose the HEC Paris program because this program benefits from a certification process, which is a recognition. You have to pass an exam, you have to undertake a certain amount of work, and this is definitely a program which is built for the continuity and the sustainability of this recognition of the market.
Okay. I would say the second part of the benefits is, I would say, about the learning approach we are using in this whole program. Today, the real question is whether it's about learning or de-learning, as some of the international companies say. You will be invited to de-learn a lot of what you have learned, as we ask our clients to do, by the way, and to learn some different ways to interact, to ask challenging questions, to ask questions where yourself you don't have the answer. By the way, less you have the answer, better it will be for being a coach, having an impact in the organizations. We will combine theory with practice, with experience, so it's always an interactive, integrative way of learning. It's always about thinking, it's about of doing, it's about of feeling, also to bring all these dimensions of, I would say, modern learning experience and neuroscience to the whole program. It will be also, I would say, the facilitators coming to the program, they are also modeling some way of being a coaches, embodying coaching ideas, coaching postures, which can be challenged by you, which can be challenging for you, but which can be an invitation to look in a way to even train today organizational coaching, because it will be training, but it will be also co-creating the way to be successfully involved in this program. That means you are active contributors versus sort of, even if I don't think with Mathilde, you will not be in that mood, but that is not that consumer approach where we listen to the facilitators, then we go at home and then we think, no, it will be really interactive. We will have these remote coaching working groups, knowing, as we do as international coaching, so coaching people in America by a webinar, by FaceTime, by whatever you have as a support. You will have the assignment, which is really one of the big parts of learning, because you will bring to practice what you have learned. And as you all know, once we practice, the real questions will emerge. So it will be really the pool of your learning questions. We invite you to sort of develop your own thinking about organizational coaching. It's not about, yes, we do as they say. It's about how will I define, in the end, my own definition of coaching? What is my own thinking method about it? And this rigorous discipline of asking yourself what you think, and not only whether you agree or not agree what facilitators say, is really part of the challenging way of being a coach today.
And that's really the point of this collective approach in this program, because it's definitely something making a difference, either you coach one person or you coach 1,000 persons.
Yes.
Okay, so clearly here, for your better understanding, I think this pedagogical approach, tackling the collective coaching part of it, is definitely something which make maybe the DNA of this program as something specific.
Okay, yes, because there's one point, most of the time when you are doing organizational coaching, you will not do it as one person, but as a group of coaches. And that will be as such a learning assignment and also a leverage, as we will see in a systemic way for coaching organizations.
Yeah, and I think this is really important because every program has its own, every groups in each program have its own DNA, and this is on what we work as well.
Yeah. I maybe, because I see some questions.
Yeah, lots of questions are
coming. There's just one thing about certifications of tools.
Yeah.
the overall idea is today we certified international coaches and not tools of coaches. I think it's very important because as organizational coaches, we are certified in a way to accompany organizations. And you have probably already tools, you will have tools, but it's not a program focused on certifications of tools. It's a way of being an organizational international coach in the world of today.
Yeah, it's a certification of yourself. So you come with what you have understood, what you learn, what you experiment, and sometimes even with what you failed, because this is how we learn, and at least that we fail fast and we learn fast.
Yeah.
But this is extremely important. You're right to mention that, because this is not a tool coaching approach. It's more a posture of international coaches, which make a difference. So of course you will have thousands of tools. Okay, HEC is generous with that, but at the same time, be sure that your own experience of this program will make the difference as a human being, and not just a sum of tools. Okay, so it's excellent point mentioned by Sabine. So okay, so we have been seeing why the participants choose it. Okay, so this is for a different reason, why the pedagogy is so specific. And maybe we can have a last view on the program itself. So the program itself is bringing some specificities. I think on the market today, such programs doesn't have such parallel equivalent, I would say. It's really something which has been built to be extremely open to a very or much higher level of thinking of what is coaching of organization. So you will have the opportunity, maybe in the program, to interact with a diversity of experts and some speakers which have been chosen for their innovative approach. I think innovative thought as well on what is coaching of organization today, and those experts are making breakthroughs on the program, because they will shake some of our core beliefs, and we will be as well entering into a process of interacting with ourselves and what is good for and what is not the right way to do in an organization. So the great variety of speakers is definitely something which makes this program really specific. And the selections of speakers and the selection of experts as well make somehow a difference on the market. Then we are extremely focused on the diversity of cultures. So we wish that you're gonna come and join us in this program from very different horizons and from very different geographies, because it's definitely something which makes the program different. So we are very attached to that. Some answers we had as well on why did we choose HEC Paris for organizational coaching. It's because of the French touch as well. We do have this French touch approach that is something we want to share as well, because it's a specificity which needs to be taken into account. It has been cooked, as I said, for many years, thanks to Michel Giffard and his team, and we do have the opportunity to taste and have a flavor of what makes the French touch different in that matter.
Yes, and I would add, I mean, organizational coaching is emerging. It's an emergent question, in fact. It hasn't, it's relatively new. It's about 5 or 6 years old. When the first books have been written about it, there was a lot of thinking in France about what is organizational coaching, which is in many ways sort of advanced compared to what is happening in other countries. So what has been worked on in France in general on organizational coaching is also giving that French touch about the way French coaches with international colleagues have thought about what is happening in the organizational world, and that also allow us, I mean, I would say, to give that French touch.
So the success rate of the program is definitely well known now, is recognized, and clearly the program itself is built for that purpose, to have a good visibility on the market and to be seen and read with this specific approach. So finally, why are people choosing HEC Paris for? I mean, in terms of program, it's because there is specific attention given to how do we sell and how do we buy this coaching of organization, which is, as you said, quite new, okay, quite innovative approach, and we do have some time in the program taken to discuss about that as well, and this is, I think, specific to have it in mind. Thank you for this sharing. Now we're going to answer a lot of questions we do have on the chat, many of them. Alors, let's have a look at the questions that you are asking for. Maybe I can make it bigger so it will be easier for us to read and to have a look at it. Alors, can we make it bigger? Yes or no? Yes, it would be okay. We have many people calling from different. Let's take a question. So, Sabine, I'll let you choose first one.
There was a question about whether this program is certified by international organization, associations of coaching. So I'm myself an MCC ICF coach, which means ICF in the way of code of ethics and other ways of thinking about coaching are represented in the program. For a lot of reasons, HDC is today not certified as an ICF program, but in reflection about doing it, whether it will be done or not is not yet decided. But the idea of having ICF coaches and other coaches is definitely yes, because at least I'm representing the ICF MCC standards in the whole program.
And we do have some experts coming and presenting their approach in the program, which are from EMCC or from Coach. So there is a landscape which is open to the different international coaching associations. And this is as well the diversity we are looking for. There is no dogmatic approach, okay? We are associations agnostic somehow, even though we are having the high standards of some of the most recognized international associations. Yeah. So we have another question about why therapy. Yes, so it's thank you for the question. So the therapy, when you undertake this program, you need to follow therapy, a personal therapy, and we do believe it's absolutely mandatory for everybody joining the program to undertake a therapy in parallel of the program. So many reasons for that. I mean, maybe we can explain a bit more.
More precise. But there are so many reasons that, I mean, for a lot of coaches, it's just no more question when you are a coach that you have a therapeutical approach. It's about when you are working and as an organizational coach with the whole dynamics, you have a lot of projections. You will get a lot of violence, which are in the organizations today. A lot of stuff which is projected on you. So it's sort of taking care of yourself and so taking care of your clients. It's not an option, I would say, to have your own space where you can think about yourself, where can you resource yourself, and where can you question yourself, because you will be challenged in the program, individually also. So to have that space, therapy space, is really a must-have, as I would say, for organizational coaches.
So it's definitely an area for you to be protected, but as well to take some authorizations that you may want to take during this year of transformation, because it's as well a transformation approach, definitely for you. Yes. So therapy is mandatory, and during the selection process, people who are not willing to undertake any therapy probably may not be entering the program. So is there any work in between modules? Yes, there is some work in between modules, a lot, and we wish you to enjoy it. Because clearly we do have remote coaching and we do have as well missions. So don't underestimate it. It's quite a lot of work because it's about collaboration and coordination with your coaching team. But it's as well some reflection about where do you stand personally on the coaching of organization philosophy. And yes, we wish you to take as much work in between modules, because it's as well a personal development approach that you may want to take. So we do have different type of participants. Some of them are doing this freely during fully 1 year, but some others participants are doing this in parallel of their own work. So everything has been seen. It depends of your own motivation, your own bandwidth, your own capability to undertake many things in parallel. Other questions?
There are a lot of questions about the mission. So how I find the mission, how the mission will be done, what is happening. So that's the interest. One of the main interests of this program is also to enter this program with a lot of questions in the world of uncertainty. As we ask our clients to be open to uncertainty, this is also what a little bit we request. We will answer a lot of questions. Yes, sometimes we help to find the mission. The most of the time in the French program and in the French organizational program, participants are organized or are in organizations, will find in their own organizations an interesting mission and will find colleagues to work on that mission. That is most of the time what is happening. What will be very interested in this program compared to the French program, even if in France you can have the mission with a company based in Paris and you're working in Toulouse. In the international program, you can have the situation that you work on an Australian approach, but still you are localized in Spain and in Portugal. So that will also mean that you maybe will reinvent stuff about organizational coaching, that in the way supervisors will help you. Most of the time it will be through webinars or coaching conferences, not in face-to-face meetings, as it is more and more the case in organizational coaching. So our aim is also you bring you close to what you will do with the organizations. So to have sort of a pre-living of what it means to be an organizational coach through the program.
And a way to manage the distance. The distance, yes. Okay, so it's definitely the approach. We do have other questions about okay, we have one question which is here. I lost this. Where is it? How many promotions exist? So there is only one promotion this year, so you should not miss it. It's the first day is on October 9th this year. So if you want to register into the program, you need to contact Miss Dion in HEC, and she will give you anything you need for the program. So there is another question related to the program itself, which is the work in between module. We have it. What is the difference between the French and the English program? Because the program exists in French as well.
Yes.
And the English program has been designed. So this is not a copy-paste of the French program, let's be clear. It's having the core fundamentals of the approach, because as you mentioned, it has been somehow created there, and this is not a translation in English, but this is the philosophy of it, brought up in an international way. And the expert has been chosen for that. So this is English spoken experts from different countries, which is not the case, or may not be the case for the French program. And we do investigate other approaches which are recognized in some part of the world, which may not be fundamentally useful for the French market, I would say. And we do go through narrative practices, human elements, theory, U-theory, every different kind of aspect which makes sense in different parts of the world. Maybe in US you may want to go in one type of approach, maybe in Australia another one, maybe in China you are experimenting something different, and we do have this landscape in the program. Yes.
And again, do not forget about participants. As participants you will be active, meaning your ideas will also influence the experts, the facilitators, the speakers. So it's also by integrating what you are saying, coming from your perspectives, bringing that international touch more and more to the program. More you bring your international practice to the program, more facilitators can use it and can base on it and co-create with you also. Maybe even new tools, new approaches coming out of that program.
Absolutely.
Which is not just closed forever, but which is sort of always ongoing in learning and e-learning, and could also be interesting that at the end of that program, some new stuff is coming out, which will be an international reference of organizational coaching.
So this is a kind of R&D part of the program.
Yes.
We allow ourselves to create new stuff. If in the group it's emerging, this is one of the philosophy and the spirit of it.
Yeah.
So maybe last question, because the time is flying and we are having a very good moment with you. Thanks a lot for every question which are asked here. Last one, which is a tough one. How much involvement in business strategy do we have as organizational coach? So this is this will be the last question.
I let you the floor.
Yeah. So there is a sub question just below, which is it more about organizational structure and people? So I think the way to envision it is not to segment the organization under. Is it more a structure approach? Is it more a people approach? Is it more how to design an organization? This is not the spirit of this program. The program is definitely first a coaching posture facing an organization, which progressively you will see it in the program, brings you to ask you many questions and experiment many approaches regarding the relationship, for example. It could be part of it. And it's not about people, structure, or purely designing of organization. It's how to envision relationship in an organization, for example. Okay, which brings you to other thoughts regarding the way the organizations are dealing with their unconsciousness part of it, which is another topic which has nothing to do with the structure itself or the people themselves. It's a broader scope than that, and you will experiment yourself those approach during the program, because the experts can share this with you.
And to add, I mean, in the end, since it's an emerging question, an emerging way of working with companies, probably as well as in the French program, by the way, everybody will have his unique way of focusing on one or two parts more than others to bring this organizational coaching approach back to organizations and to the world. There will be coaches who will be more working on the leverage of structure. Others will be finally choose to be more working on relationship innovation as leverage for transformation. This will be discussed and shared, because really in the world of today, it would be a big mistake to imagine that one answer fits it all. I mean, there is no more one solution for everybody. That will be the work where you are invited to think about yourself. That's why therapy, by the way, also thinking about yourself, what is important for yourself, and in which way you will bring it to the world when you go back to the organizations.
So we are coming to the end of this webinar. Thank you very much for all the questions you asked and all the people attending the call today, many people attending the call. So thank you for your participation. You have all the information needed if you want to join the program. So you contact Ms. Dion in HEC Paris. You will find the details on the website. And we wish you to have you on board in October.
Exactly.
So for the most exciting 20 days of coaching. Yeah.
In the international world.
Yeah. Thank you very much, for the participation, and hope to see you very soon in HEC Paris. Thank you, Sabine.
Thank you, Mathilde.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.